For the latest Alien and Predator news updates, visit hybridnetworkyt.com. Hey, what's going on guys? Nick here with an Alien Covenant news update. So this one's fairly interesting because it's something that has been kind of talked about and theorized for quite a while actually, up until the release of the film, and then I think some people are still trying to talk about it even now. So recently an interview came out with Damon Lindelof via Collider.com where they talked to him about his show The Leftovers, but they did sneak in a couple questions regarding Alien Covenant and his original plans for Prometheus' sequel before it became Covenant with Ridley Scott. So the most interesting thing out of this interview is that he actually discusses what the home planet of the engineers was supposed to be in his original ideas with Ridley, calling it paradise and things like that. And he says, quote, "What does that place look like? Ridley called it paradise. What happens when they land on that planet? It doesn't feel like they've gotten there yet in Covenant. Covenant feels like maybe it was a detour prior to them arriving at that place of origin, so I don't want to spoil any place that he still might be going to, but the conversations that he and I had about where the story goes next were largely about the place where the engineers come from and less the events of Covenant." So this is very interesting to me because it definitely feels like the planet that he saw in Alien Covenant was more so like a settlement of engineers and not exactly their home planet, which is something that I had kind of thought about for a while too, but as the marketing kind of came out more and more about it, I just kind of accepted, okay, this is probably what they're going to go for with the engineers' Homeworld, even though I didn't really love it too much because, when you actually look at it, there's kind of this Greek-Roman architecture to everything, and it's not so much reflective of their ships and technology and the things that we saw even in Prometheus on LV-223, the kind of Giger-esque landscape and stuff like that, and that's what I was expecting out of the engineer's home planet, like sort of a Giger planet really, like a Xenomorph Homeworld or something along those lines, looking like that, but not really much what we got in Covenant. So maybe that is correct. Maybe Lindelof is right in saying that, this is basically just one of their planets, not exactly their home planet. This isn't paradise. This isn't the planet that he and Ridley had envisioned for the birthplace of the engineers and where they came from. So that's fairly interesting to me, and maybe that's what's going to be the plot of the next film, whether it's called Alien Awakening or not. We don't really know because I know Ridley had said it was Awakening, but again, I think he did refer to it as like the title for Neil Blomkamp's canceled film as well. So not really sure exactly what the next film is going to be called, if there is a next film, because of the whole box office situation, but it is very interesting that maybe the whole story isn't wrapped up with the engineers and David could actually be going to the home planet of the engineers now in this next film, because now that I actually think about it more, it would make sense that David would not go to their home planet from the get-go, that he would just say, okay, I'm going to go to one of their settlement planets, like a smaller colony, and go test out my experiments there, and then once I perfected the organism, then I could take that to the engineer's home planet. So now that he's made the xenomorph and everything, okay, now I'm going to release my army of xenomorphs and have them go wipe out all of the gods. Kind of like what we saw in that poster that looked really amazing, like the artwork style poster for Alien Covenant, where you saw all those xenomorphs kind of intertwined with the engineers. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this update, and do you actually think that the planet that we saw in Alien Covenant was the home planet of the engineers, or do you think that's being saved for a future film? As always, thanks for watching. My name is Nick, and for more on the Alien and Predator universe, subscribe to the Hybrid Network.